seems like this year there's so many voles and mice out and about that they've just multiplied like crazy, and we've got to do something to try and get them under control, because this spring, as the snow melted, we had so many of our customers here at Anderson Seed and Garden who had trails all through their lawns. They had little holes where the voles had lived, and then they'd come up and they'd made little trails all through their lawns. So lots of damage in lawns, more so than we've seen in years past. But what usually happens is in the summertime the voles and the gophers just kind of disappear. But this year they've really been out in abundance, and we've seen a lot of them this fall. And so we need to do something to get them under control so we don't have any damage occurring through the wintertime. Otherwise, when the snow melts again this coming spring, you're going to have tons of damage out there in your lawn, and it's going to take a couple months for it to recuperate and to repair the problem. And so let's try and prevent it before it happens, instead of waiting for it to happen and try to fix it afterwards. So there's a couple different things that we need to do. First off, if you're having a high population of voles right now, I know my cat's out catching 2 or 3 voles a day, and he's bringing them back and trying to share those with us, and that's very nice of him, but we really don't want those inside the house. But he's catching a bunch right now, so we've got a high population in our neighborhood. And so what we've done is we've gone out and we put a repellent out in our yard to try and keep them away. Now, the Natural Guard organic animal repellent is an excellent product to repel all kinds of rodents. And we're talking about squirrels, mice, voles, gophers, moles. It'll even work on skunks and raccoons. So it'll work on all kinds of smaller animals, but also works on the larger four-legged rodents as well, which we call deer. And it's a nice repellent because it works on a wide variety of animals that are doing a lot of damage in the yard. The 4-pound bag will cover about 2,000 linear feet. So we've used it to do kind of a perimeter application around our yard to try and keep the voles and the mice from coming in and doing damage. We've got some other products that you can broadcast over your entire lawn as we get closer to when winter's going to come and snow's going to stick around, that will last a lot longer and will hopefully protect it through the wintertime. But for right now, the Natural Guard Organic Animal Repellent is a great way, totally safe for people and for pets and for kids, but it will keep some of these rodents away before they start to do some damage. So right now, that's something we want to try and take care of as soon as possible if you're having a lot of population growth right now. The other thing we want to do is try and get some baits out there to try and stop them completely, because the population is just going to keep growing. The moles and the voles and the mice really reproduce very quickly, so we want to get them under control. Best way to do that is to use bait stations. Now, I have some bait stations that are already built that you can buy. This is made by Hawk, and you put the bait inside the bait station, and you close that up, and it's got holes where they can enter in and exit out and eat the bait. And this one's made specifically for mice, but it'll work great for voles as well too. I have some larger ones for more for outdoors, out in the open. You can do the same thing. You can put the bait inside. The rodents have to go in, eat the bait. They can't pull it out and take it with them. They have to eat it while they're inside. So that works very, very well, and it keeps the bait inside where kids and pets and birds can't get to it and cause some problems. We can also make your own if you use like we like to use a 2-inch PVC pipe. We'll cut it into about 10, 12, 14-inch long sections, and then you can put the bait inside and put those in strategic locations out around your yard. So you can put it under a shrub or along the deck or along the garage, or anywhere where you think they might be hanging out. And then you can put your bait packs and place it inside the bait station, and that way the mice or the voles will go inside and find the bait. They feel real comfortable in there where there's an exit on both sides, and can hopefully consume the bait and kick the bucket without bothering birds or pets, or keeping it out of the reach of kids as well too. One of the other things that's important that you do if you want to prevent damage this year is to mow your lawn as late as possible. Usually we'll watch the weather, and generally around Thanksgiving or even into the first part of December, it will look like it's going to snow and it's going to stick and it's going to stay for the winter time. That's when you want to get out there and mow your lawn as close as you possibly can, and take it down as low as you can, and that's the time when you want to put your repellent on. So you can go back and use the organic animal repellent, or there's a couple different ones that we have have that you can use, and you'll broadcast that out onto your lawn to try and keep those voles from coming in during the wintertime and doing damage. So it's most important that you get that lawn mowed down close, because if the grass is really tall and thick, then they have a perfect place to hang out and run around and just have a great time all winter underneath the snow, because there's no predators out there to bother them. And so you got to get that grass cut down real short so there's not a big gap of grass and between the snow and the soil for them to have a great time in. Plus, it'll really help with your lawn next year. You won't have to clean up as much. You'll have less disease problems, and it'll just be a nicer lawn to have to clean up and get prepared for next year. So between the repellents and putting some bait stations out there, even some bait stations that you can make yourself, we can get a lot of these voles and mice under control before they do a lot of damage out in your yard.